It's August 22nd, and we are in the final preparations for our upcoming 2020 deer season. We'd Evolved Bow Hunting Outdoors want to thank all of you who have took the time to subscribe to our channel, check out our Facebook, Instagram page, and have hit the notification button on our YouTube channel. We're growing every day. We're learning, just as all of you teach us something. We hope in some sense that we're able to teach you something. So today's video is kind of heartbreaking a little bit, because about a week and a half ago we had some miscommunication with the landowner. Nothing that got anybody in trouble or anything like that. The landowner is doing his normal cleaning of the property type deal thing, and where we had our plot screen along this food plot that I'm in right now. This is the 2-acre plot where Mike and I planted some buck forage oats and some Australian winter peas. We had this plot screen out. It's a lot of it is gone, but a little bit of it's still standing. The landowner had thought that it was some sort of weed or grass, invasive species, and he DR mowed it, so that kind of sucks, but not a big deal, you know. Lesson learned. I'd been talking to them. They're like, well, yeah, we'd heard you say you put in some plot screen around the food plot and this, that, and the other, but he didn't understand quite what that was, so I blame that on myself. So the key is great communication with your landowner. Maybe even take them out and show them exactly what they planted. It's a minor setback. It's one of those things that happens. We're moving forward. We're pushing through. The 2-acre plot, we did get some germination. A lot of weeds in it up at the upper half by the gas line stand, but we still got really good germination out of it. So what Mike's doing right now is he is actually going through with a broadcast spreader and putting out a little more oats. The winter peas, there's a few. One thing that we're learning with winter peas is, and the oats, as soon as they germinate and get 2 to 3 inches tall, boy, the turkeys really start hammering them. As you can see behind me here, Mike has a Reveal Tactacam, and you can see how much the deer have just annihilated these beans in this hole right here. They feel really secure down in this bottom. I don't think that we're quite gonna have the tonnage that we did last year with Nebraska and mossy oak, sugar bulbs, and beets, but I am confident just now that we've finally got some germination and some good rains going, that we are going to have a nice 2-acre plot. But now we're transitioning, and what I mean by transitioning is we are actually moving our cell cameras to our stand locations. That way we can actually narrow down times that the deer, when they're still on their early season pattern, are closer to our stand, because we're less than 38 days away, 35 days away from Ohio's opener. So stay with us. We're gonna trim up some shooting lanes. We're gonna actually get in the stands today, check all the straps, and finish all the preparation work that we have, because like I said, we're less than 38 days away from Ohio's opener.
This is our Reveal Tac camera we have set up out here. Kind of excited to see this one, see the card on it, being it's just sending me the second one.
Yeah.
Since I have it in the three burst, especially the buck that came through here yesterday.
Yep. Which camera is that?
This one is the new Tactacam Reveal. We got 2 of them we put out. Trying them out, comparing them up against the $49.99 Spypoint cell length cameras. Yeah, it's got your screen inside here, so you can actually see your field of view, but you see how many pictures you have it set up for, what megapixel you have it set for, and it tells you how large the card is, how many pictures it thinks that card can hold. And then it gives you the battery. It also gives you this stuff on the app, but you have a menu, and then in here you've got off, set up, and on. So far these batteries have been out here, what, 3 weeks, 2 weeks, and all still nice and strong. It looks like I still have the video set up. I thought I had turned that off. Gotta remember to put it to the on position.
This is one of our easy access trail cameras. That's just right on the edge. You know, we don't use cell cameras in these spots because it's either on the way to or on the way back from a stand that's on an access point, but there are deer that are coming out into these beans behind me, and you can tell they are nipped pretty good along this area. So that's one thing Mike and I talked about this year was, you know, put the cell links and the cell cameras where it isn't the easiest access, that we don't want to leave a bunch of human scent trying to check them. So what we've decided is we just put regular trail cameras on access points to see what's coming through or what's coming by, and it seems to be working pretty good. So I'm going to check this one real quick and just download all the photos from it. We're starting to get also to that point where the deer are going to start changing into their fall habitat and fall habits once they shed their velvet. Hey, Mike.
If you can't unmute them right outside. I think it'll still, they come up out of here out, I think we can still get them here.
Yeah.
But now we can keep an eye on them because they're kind of coming behind that, or that'll give us an idea about a stand in there.
Yeah, for sure.
So here we are, we're down at our, what we call our car stands down the bottoms. This has been a challenging area for us down here, trying to at least figure out where the buck movement is. We know we have a little doe haven down in here where they bed, but the bucks themselves, they like to come and make scrapes along this edge line. But our interior cameras, we're not picking them up on our cell cameras down here on the inside. So what we're doing today is setting up, we've got a Spypoint camera here, and as you can see, this nice decorative stake that we're on here, this is a Royal King, $1.99 electric fence posts. Anybody out there putting out their cameras cheap way, you don't have to buy the big expensive metal ones, pretty good height up. So we're setting this down here to try to catch movement. We're trying to figure out what's coming here. So again, with the cell camera, and I'll show you over here where they've been coming through in scrapes. This whole, if you can see it, this whole tree section right here, right along this edge, every year, this is where they come in. We see scrape after scrape down here. So this is one of the good looking trees. We want to, at some point, we'll probably put out a dripper here somewhere. But we're trying to use this camera to see, are they coming here? Are they coming through here, or just skirting this edge? We got our stand right up there in the back. Beautiful two-setter. I think Mike showed it before. We'll probably show it right here in a picture, but we're setting that up for this year. We got a cut through we made down here, but overall, this field, the farmer let it grow up this year. It's not really, he didn't plant anything, it's just growing. So we've thrown out some brassica. We had one little rain afterwards. We put some oats and peas just to spread over, and we ran it down with the with our drag. But it's early and we haven't got a lot of rain. I don't know how it is in your area of the country, but after that hurricane came through and we had the rain, after that it's just, we haven't really had anything for a good 10 days
at least.
So they're calling for a chance of thunderstorms tonight. So as you seen earlier, we were up, we put out a little bit more oats in that field just to see what comes, but we just hope we get some more rain. So stick with us. We're going to go down and trim a couple more shooting lanes on another stand down here. Check with you in a little bit.
We're almost in that time frame where the deer start to go into their fall pattern. So Mike made some,
starts transitioning here soon.
Yeah, Mike made some great observations on what we've learned so far about a couple of different bucks that we're chasing around. So he gave us some new cell cam locations. Good with that.
Yeah, so we'll share the picture right here with it. But we've got, I think we call him Curly. He just he's got a little bit curly to the brow tine, same as last year. But he's a big 8, and he's showing up in the morning at one spot, and he's showing up at the evening at another spot. We got him on our cell cams, so right now it's just we can see where he's been and where he's going, but we're not sure how he got there. So we put a couple cameras out at a couple additional spots today, some cells, try to get some other advantage points and see where they're transitioning between properties. But I think we got some outer edges. We put a lot of our standard cameras where we could easily get to them. So we've got the place pretty well surrounded right now out here. So we can just get some of these peas and oats to kick off, and it's just rain. We need rain.
Yep, there's actual thunder clouds starting to form up over here to our right, starting to darken up a little bit, and like Mike said, we heard a little bit of thunder. So we've got all of our fine-tuning maintenance down. Now we just need a little help from Mother Nature.
Yeah, yep.
That would help tremendously. I think, what did we talk about 3 weeks, about the first week of September, like I talked about in my last video, we're gonna come out and spread some rye grain. Okay,
that's kind of going to be our saving grace, depending on how this oats and peas end up. But it should germinates down to 35 to 37 degrees ground temp.
Yep.
So I think we've got a good time here yet to put it out between now and into the 1st of October. So
same time frame that we'll spread out those rye grain seeds. That's when Mike and I will do our ground blinds. Like I told you in our last video, we'll do a really in-depth instruction, how to, so to speak, on how we put out our ground blinds. You know, I'm real big on sun shining in. so the direction your blind faces. That's why I like the ambush blind so much, because the sun actually rises and sets behind it. And then the brothel, forgot what I changed that name to. Sorry about that. Like I told you guys in my last video, we had to change that name for YouTube purposes. So back in the brothel, where a lot of the does are, and they congregate and kind of stage back in that back field, that blind back here does fairly decent because of the direction, and it's tucked back in so far that the sun actually has to almost be setting. But here in Central Ohio, we're in hill country, so by the time the sun's actually setting, it never really actually shines right into that blind, which is really good. And then in the morning, the sun's behind you the whole day, all the way up until noon, 1 o'clock. So we'll get that finished up.
And we got a third blind we're going to put somewhere. We're just using our cell cameras right now to try to figure out where they're skirting before we put out the last one, I should say. Actually, we got a third blind and one last ladder stand.
Oh, yes.
That we didn't get put up this year where we exactly wanted it, because the tree we wanted it in was back in the brothel, but it's covered in poison ivy, and last year I got covered in it. My brother got covered in it. I think you had a little bit of it.
I got it covered here this summer, so I don't want it anymore.
So we're using these cell cameras and all these other cameras we got on the outer edges to see where they're coming from across the road. So I think that's it for today.
Yeah, we just want to make sure that we got everything set up now to where intrusion is going to be to a minimal inside the wooded areas, and only when we're going to 2 stands will we actually enter the wood line. Outside of that, the blinds are on the edge, and the one directly behind us is right here on the field edge, and we can get in and out of that pretty easily. So I think we're getting pretty set. Now it's just getting there. We're close.
Oh, and I did bring the blower today, and our access trails to the high stand and the car stand, I blew those off, and that actually turned out that actually turned out really good. So I think it was nice and quiet walking out. When we came out, I noticed it cleared it up pretty good. So we just keep maintaining that, and we'll see you guys probably here in about 3 weeks. I'm going to Kentucky though, so
I can't make it. I wish I could.
I know it was kind of last minute. I was waiting to see with all this COVID stuff if they were going to pull 14-day quarantines, and that's all political. We don't need to talk about that. This is deer hunting.
Well, we don't have any Buckeye sports, so we don't get to watch them. So that frees up my Saturdays.
So no kidding, right? All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. Also hit that notification button, because the season's coming. Stay with us. Evolve Bow Hunting Outdoors.
Later.
Nice.